In our text, we see Abraham and Sarah who have a son after 25 years. Imagine their joy. From this story we learn how God runs the world. He calls his chosen ones and gives them a desire. Philippians 2 verse 13 says, "For it is God who works in you, both to will and to do of his good pleasure." He calls you to dream and to wait. He makes us dream and he makes us wait. How do we wait well? First, we must recognize that there are times. One of the reasons Christians stumble when they have dreams is impatience. But Solomon, the king of wisdom, says in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1, "To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose." It's easy to get things wrong when you're in a hurry. That's what happened to Abraham. When Abraham got tired of waiting, he took a different approach. When that didn't work, he took a slave named Eliezer as his adopted son. When that didn't work, he took a concubine to give him a son. Do you recognize God's sovereignty? If so, leave the timing and method to God. In God's time and in God's way, he will fulfill your dreams. Second, being late does not mean postponed or canceled. When it gets too late, we sometimes suspect that the covenant has been postponed or canceled. Abraham waited 25 years and went sideways because he had doubts. However, God does not postpone or cancel. God is faithful. In 1 Samuel 15 verse 29, it says, "The God of Israel is not deceitful or unfaithful, for he is not a man, and therefore he never changes his mind." Sometimes God makes us wait a long time in order to use us in a big way. Big trees are slow to grow. How can we be patient? We can use the time of waiting as an opportunity to get to know God more deeply. We can cry out to God in times of suffering, and we can encounter God in our hearts instead of only in our minds. Job did this, confessing in Job 42 verse 5, "I have only heard of you with my ears, but now my eyes have seen you." Third, we must wait and trust God to reveal himself in his word. When dreams come true, the joy is beyond expectation. In verse 6 we read, "Sarah said, 'God has made me laugh, and all who hear shall laugh with me.'" Abraham and Sarah waited well, and the text shows us the secret of their waiting. Sarah explains that it was just as the Lord had said, that she would have a son. Word means promise in the original Hebrew. The couple waited and believed in a promise-keeping God who reveals himself in his word. Have you waited long? Are you weary? Hang in there. Keep walking forward in covenant faith. God's appointed time may be farther ahead than you think.